Good morning. Today I am going to a ladies' brunch with my neighbors. We do this every year at the holidays. And my task was to make something breakfasty, but not sweets and pastries, because I guess that's what most people are bringing. So I decided, and this isn't a recipe I found, I just decided to make scrambled egg, bacon, and cheese sliders. So I bought some Hawaiian rolls, and they're sitting in the pan there, and I'll bake them in just a little bit. They bake in less than 10 minutes, so those are pretty easy. The bacon I'm trying to just cut up into little strips because I like it to be little pieces within the egg. And it doesn't take terribly long to fry it once you have it cut up. You can slice it, you can cut it, you can cook it however you like it. I just like to cut it up with the scissors ahead of time, and then it's all crisped and ready to go. And I can mix it in my egg batter, which we'll be doing shortly. Okay, I'm going to mix up these eggs. Instead of using milk, I used a little half and half, make it a little richer. And I just like the eggs to be really mixed up, so the yolks are mixed in with the whites nice and evenly. The bacon's frying behind me and it smells wonderful. I used about 15 eggs because I figure between the eggs, the bacon, and the cheese that should fill. If not, I can always whip up a few more eggs. This is not a recipe I found somewhere, it's just in my head what I wanted to do. And I do a lot of that, so when people ask me where did you get that recipe, some I get online, some I just in my head, things I've tried and that worked out. There's a lot of people with a lot of recipes on the internet, and a lot of them are like me. I just know what I like and what I think tastes good together, and I just try it. And if I like it, I do it again. And if I don't, I'll make little changes if it's possible. And you could use just slices of ham if you don't feel like frying bacon. You could do little sausage, little leaf sausages, whatever you like, any kind of an egg meat. Eggs are great to work with. You can put vegetables in it if you want to do a more healthy choice. It's totally up to you. These are just something I thought would be really good. I'm going to drain the bacon as soon as this is a little browner. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw the biscuits in the oven right now, let them bake. And I don't want them to totally bake because I'm going to put them back in a little bit later once I have them filled. So the directions say 5 to 6 minutes. I'm going to put the timer for 4. Okay, it's time to scramble the eggs and add the bacon in. So first we'll do the bacon. It's nice and crisp, cooked up really well. And again, feel free to add vegetables or anything you like. Now I'm going to probably do this in a couple of batches. Scrambled eggs, actually, I think I can do the whole pan. Yeah, let's do that. Make sure I move the bacon around so it's everywhere, but we're going to be scrambling these up so it'll get moved around anyway. Meantime, we're going to check our biscuits and see if they're brown. Just starting to brown is where I want them. And they are. So we're going to take those out and let them sit here. Because I'm going to have to recook these once I add the eggs. And then I'm going to top it with some cheddar cheese, I think, or mixed cheese. I'm not even positive which cheese. I have lots in my refrigerator. And then I'm just going to put them back in enough just before I leave the house to melt the cheese, and they'll be nice and warm when I leave. I'll let them sit here for a few minutes while I finish up the eggs. You can see these are just about done. And they're going to bake for a minute or two, so I'm not really worried about that just yet. We'll get the ends here into the middle and move them around a bit. I'm going to turn the heat right off now because for a little bit that's left, I don't want to overcook them because they are going to go in the oven again for just a minute or so. But that looks really good. Now, the next step is I'm going to move that off the heat, and I'm going to cut the rolls in half and put them in a baking dish that I can serve in. Now I'm going to start assembling, and all I'm going to do there is just start spreading on the eggs across the buns. Try to make them sort of even. You can go back and add more, take more off, and move it around once you get them all laid out. Kind of hot. And then all that will be left is to spread with cheese and pop them in the oven for about a minute just to let the cheese melt before I leave for the party, which will be in less than an hour. So I'm still got to change my clothes and get ready to go. But this is a pretty quick. You can make it ahead if you want. Just leave the rolls cooked a little less so that you can have time to heat everything if you need to. But I kind of like to do things like this fresh, so it's nice and warm and not dried out. And again, I did use a little heavy cream instead of milk with the egg mixture. I used 2 packages of bacon. I don't think they're quite a pound anymore. It's 12 ounces. So I used 2 12-ounce packages of bacon, and I think it was 15 or 16 eggs. You'll notice that almost everything I cook has some kind of cheese in it. I'm going to use a mixed blend. It's Colby Jack and cheddar, and I think some stores call it a Mexican blend. I just thought I have all kinds of cheese in my fridge because I do use so much of it, but this is what I decided to make. And I made the last minute decision that I would use the mixed cheese, and I actually didn't need to make that many eggs, but guess what I'm going to have for breakfast off the dish there. Okay, so we're going to add some cheese. And the heat from the eggs may even start melting it before I put it in the oven. But again, I only have to go 2 doors away to our hostess house. So I will just pop this in the oven for a minute when I'm ready to leave, and then transfer it to a serving plate, and I'm good to go. So there will be my brunch. Let's put a little hats back on it. Move that out of the way, move this over. Everybody seems to be on a slider kick, and they make nice little takeaways when you're going to parties. You can do all kinds of things with them, whatever you like. I've done them with Italian foods, and just kind of like egg rolls. Can make anything in them and on them, so they're very versatile. There they are, all ready to bake. I'll come back with the picture as soon as I do the final step. Okay, it's just about time to go to the party, and they're pretty much as brown as I want them, so I'm going to cover them with a little aluminum foil because I don't want them to get too dark. And I'm just going to pop them in the oven for about 1 minute to melt the cheese. Okay, then 1 minute, back into the oven. Take a look here. Okay, I did take the paper off because it looked like they weren't bubbly enough, and now they are done bubbly and beautiful, and I'm ready to plate them and take them to the party.